I'm the ghost of Sir Sean Connery.
I am Zardoz.
And today, Justice and his gay little friend David are gonna find out if Zardoz is the greatest movie ever made.
The gun is good.
The gun is good.
The penis is evil.
Justice!
David.
Sorry, come again?
Oh, Sean, I apologize.
Yes, I am currently possessing your friend David's corporeal form.
That's what threw me is I look at you and I see David's face, but of course you are not David. You are, once again, the spirit of Sean Connery back from hell. Interesting that you didn't show up on last week's episode to explain yourself.
I was busy. Lots of stuff to do in hell, mostly slapping women.
Got it. You know what? In retrospect, I don't want to hear your thoughts on Marnie. Anyway, nice to have you, as always, Sir Connery.
Yes.
Are you Sir?
Yes.
Were you an OBE? That's what I thought.
You bet your ass I was.
Yeah. Of course you were. I mean, you were James Bond.
Of course.
Yeah.
Also, I was Zed in Zardoz.
Boy, oh boy, were you.
Justice, Peter Jackson approached me at the in the 90s to play Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, and I said it didn't make any sense, which is weird considering I did this movie.
Maybe your experience on John Boorman's Zardoz is what put you off of high fantasy and sort of more like high concept narratives. Lord of the Rings, pretty pedestrian compared to Zardoz in terms of like how wild the swings are. But yeah,
who knows what happened there?
Who knows? Although interesting that you mentioned Lord of the Rings because this movie happened because of Lord of the Rings in a way, because John Boorman was working on adapting J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings for film, and it didn't work out. I think they were like it was too complex. And so he still wanted to work in the sci-fi fantasy space. And that's when he got the idea for this movie.
Too complex. That's very funny, considering the movie that we got. Well, and also he went on to do Excalibur.
Yes.
Which, it's strange because I've done several Arthurian adaptations, but I was not in Excalibur, but I was in this movie.
Yeah. Well, I think this movie needed you. I know that they were looking at Burt Reynolds for it.
Speaking of needing something,
yes.
Justice,
yeah.
May I suck your cock?
Maybe later, not on mic.
Please.
This is a pretty gay movie.
I'm gay now. Did you know that?
Oh, congratulations.
Turns out
on coming out.
I slap women because I hate women.
So like you hate women so much you're gay.
I think therefore I must be gay.
I don't think that's typically how queer identity works.
And now that I'm dead and in hell...
Who am I to say? I shouldn't be saying this to a member of the community.
Now that I'm dead and in hell,
you would know better than I do.
Trying to work more on consent. So
right, good.
I just wanted to ask.
Well,
it's okay if you say no.
Okay, I'm going to say no for now. We do have to record an episode on Zardoz. But, maybe hit me up after the episode. We'll see what's going on. All right?
Okay.
Okay, goodbye, gay Sean Connery. Nice for you to drop in.
I'll return your friend to you. Have fun talking about Zardoz, you little bitches.
We will. We will. Nice to hear that guy... David, sorry, you're back with us.
I hate it when he does that.
Do you know... I
hate it when he does that.
Yeah, because you go to hell.
I go to
this
hell.
place. Are you aware of the conversation that is being had while you're down there? Oh, okay. So, interestingly, Sean Connery just dropped a pretty big reveal, a TGMEM exclusive, which is that after 5 or so years in hell after his death in 2020, apparently Sean Connery is gay now, but I don't think it merits quite the celebration that news would normally merit, because he did say that he was gay because he hated women so much.
I don't think that's how that works.
That's what I said.
I can't.
I can't speak for the gay community.
I
but,
don't think that's how that works.
You know, who am I to dictate? Like, if he wants to,
he can explore
you know?
his sexuality all he wants. I just think maybe
he certainly can. He's dead. He
I
has,
th-
he has
right.
all the time in the world
I
to
think
do it now.
Maybe he's just not doing, the work necessarily. I think he's maybe adopting labels without fully understanding what they mean. Anyway. Hi David. Nice to have you back. It's scary when you're Sean Connery.
It's nice to be back.
Mm-hmm.
My trip to hell was not so pleasant this time.
Oh yeah.
What
was going on down there?
I ran into Hitler.
Oh yeah, that guy. He's got to be fucking so annoying.
He's still on his bullshit, you know?
He hasn't given that up yet?
No, it's been 60 fucking, like, over 80 years at this point. And he's still just like...
I guess there are some people walking the earth who still sort of espouse his ideology, so that probably emboldens him in the afterlife to be like, oh yeah, they're still talking about it, so clearly I was onto something. It's like, no, you weren't, man.
You think he would have taken up, like, knitting or something at
this
point?
Get a fucking hobby!
Anyway. So we're here today to talk about John Boorman's Zardoz.
Yes.
I'm going to just make another blanket statement. I am not going to tell you, listener, that you should watch Zardoz. However, if you wish to listen to this episode, I would say that the labor that you must pay for the gates to be open to you is you should watch Zardoz.
I think every person should watch Zardoz. I think this should be part of mandatory school curriculums.
If you've ever seen that picture of Sean Connery on the beach with a ponytail and 2 bandoliers strapped to his chest, and a pair of red underwear, holding a gun, and knee-high boots, by the way.
Yeah.
Holding a gun.
That costume is like 20th on the list of most insane shit in this movie.
It really is. There is a whole movie that costume comes from, and consider watching it.
Yes. I think it should be mandatory that everyone sees this in at some point in an academic setting. I don't think it should be too early because of the content of the film, but I'm thinking junior year, maybe senior year of high school. You get every single person in the country to watch Zardoz and just see what that does to the future of America.
You know, get your favorite substance up to and including black tar heroin. Watch Zardoz and then return.
More of a hallucinogen type movie, I think.
Yeah. Hey man, whatever gets those endorphins rushing.
Yeah.
So before we talk about today's movie, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. You didn't ever say welcome to the greatest movie ever made.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
You don't have to. My brain's all fuzzy coming back from
You don't have to. I just
Sean
pre-planned
didn't
what I was
introduce the
No, of course he didn't. You expect him to introduce the show? He just comes in and starts jawing at me about how he wants to suck me off.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I told him we'd talk about it later.
Oh, so he was chill about it.
Yeah, he was chill about it. Yeah. He's learning consent in hell.
Oh, okay.
From the devil, who you said understands it quite well last time you were down there.
You know, I gotta say, Old Scratch is definitely, like, running things pretty well down there.
Yeah. Good for him.
You know, we still got there's some weird streets that you don't want to go down at a certain time
of
night in
back
hell.
alleys in hell where you'll run into some unsavory characters. Anyway.
This is the greatest movie ever made, the show where we watch a movie and tell you if it's the greatest movie ever made.
The penis is evil.
That's why I wanted you to do the intro, is because I wanted to interject with that.
A movie that is so thoroughly entertaining and compelling that it's the only thing that matters in the Outlands, in the Vortex, in the giant floating head, wherever you may be listening to us.
Yeah.
From. I'm David Scandura, joined as always by my co-host and brutal exterminator, Justice Burkett.
That's right. I love that they're called the Brutals.
There is something so, purely masculine about that costume.
Yes. Where it's 2 bandoliers of shotgun shells and a red diaper and knee-high boots. Yeah. And I like their big masks that are the Zardoz head that they wear. Yeah. I think I think this movie has a take on masculinity. I don't really think I agree with it, but I also enjoy the movie exploring it.
It has a take on masculinity. I'm not so sure what it is.
I'm not sure what a lot of this movie's takes are. Because sometimes the movie starts exploring a theme and then just like ignores it and starts exploring another theme in a way that makes the previous exploration that it's done contradictory and confusing.
I think I know what Dune is to people who don't like Dune.
Yes. This Zardoz has big time the way that people who don't like Dune see Dune energy. Yeah. I also don't think it's an accident that Charlotte Rampling was cast in Denis Villeneuve's Dune.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then I watched this movie and I was like, oh, she's in that because Denis Villeneuve saw Zardoz and was like, what if I put her in this as a joke?
If she can deliver this exposition, she's got no fucking problem with Dune. It's gonna be a walk in the park for her.
She's basically already like a Bene Gesserit in Zardoz. He basically was like, oh, she plays a Bene Gesserit in a movie already. I'll just get her for I'll just have her play a Bene Gesserit in my movie too.
Also, gotta say, I have only seen Charlotte Rampling in Dune.
Yeah.
And I did not know she looked like that in the 70s, and Jesus Christ.
She was also in Playboy magazine in 1974. This movie came out in 1974, so just big year for Charlotte Rampling being naked. Between this movie and her Playboy spread.
Okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I finally had mostly a day off today. I did have to do like some theater work, but I didn't have to do a rehearsal or anything. And it's been nice to be a little bit more low-key today. And yeah, I feel like I'm excited about the show that's gearing up to open. The Flagstaff Shakespeare Festival Summer Rep is opening this coming week, and feeling good about it, both as a director and as a staff member. There have been some hiccups along the way, but we've been dealing with them, and I think we have a good season coming up. But yeah, I think it's all going good. I'm personally feeling pretty good. In terms of media recommendations, scouring my brain to see if I have anything. Oh yeah, I was gonna shout out. So, I run the Beaver Street Theater in downtown Flagstaff. I'm the facilities manager over there, and we've had some local bands come in and play shows. There was a local opener to a couple out-of-town bands last night who's played the theater before, and I wanted to shout them out. The band's name is Flowers. If you're searching for them on like Bandcamp, it's like Flowers all lowercase. And
I think you can also find them by looking up Flowers Band AZ.
Yes. And they are like a screamo black gaze band that is local to the Flagstaff area. I've met them all. They're all really nice guys. And when they played their show last night at the theater, I was like, I think I'm like not just like a guy who books these guys at his theater type of fan of these guys. I think I legitimately actually really like their music and like want to turn other people onto it. So yeah, listen to Flowers. They're a tiny local band, and they're really good, and they're good live. So if you ever have the opportunity to see Flowers live at one of our local Flagstaff venues, or I know sometimes they tour down in Phoenix and stuff, yeah, go out and support a tiny little band that's doing good shit. David, how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Not much to report. I'm okay. I've had a couple days off, which is great. I've mostly spent them sleeping.
Yeah.
I don't have any media to recommend other than I have also listened to Flowers.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was playing bass for them at one point. I don't know if he still is. I didn't make it to the show that they played the other night, and I haven't talked to him in a while, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've been around for a while. They have a demo out called, or a demo or an EP or something, a release called I Wish You Were, that was pretty good and came out a few years ago. I'm glad to see that they're still playing at the very least.
They're still going, and they're still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Sick. All right. Zardoz.
Zardoz.
So, I don't know. Like, neither of us had seen this movie before. My awareness of the film Zardoz came from two places. One, some podcasts that I'm a fan of have covered this before. I didn't remember any of the plot of it. I have listened to episodes on this from, like, How Did This Get Made? And maybe also We Hate Movies. I can't remember. But both of those podcasts released an episode on Zardoz, like, a long time ago. So I didn't really remember any of the plot details, even though I listened to the episodes. And then my other awareness of this movie was really just like the image of Sean Connery in the costume, which will like sometimes pop up on the internet.
Yeah, that was my awareness of it too. And then the name Zardoz is pretty hard
it
to
sticks
forget.
in your head. When you know that Sean Connery is costumed like that in a movie called Zardoz, that fact sort of doesn't leave your brain. So neither of us really have any history with this one to speak of, right? There's nothing unless you're holding out on me and you did like a Zardoz deep dive.
No, you may have mentioned this at the top of the episode. I don't know. I was in hell, but this did come about because Boorman wanted to adapt Lord of the Rings, and that fell through.
Right.
I have a quote here from Boorman. I guess this was influenced by The Wizard of Oz, obviously. That reveal is fucking wild, by the way.
Yes.
T.S. Eliot, Tolkien, and medieval Arthurian legend, which is, of course, why he eventually directs Excalibur.
Yeah.
He wanted to develop a science fiction story about a character discovering an emergent society, quote, who penetrated it. He'd be mysteriously chosen and at the same time manipulated, and I wanted the story to be told in the form of a mystery with clues and riddles which unfold, the truth slowly peeled away, end quote. Which, yeah, I think he sort of did that.
He did do that. Do that.
It's he also said it's about the inner rather than outer space. It's closer to the better science fiction literature, which is more metaphysical. Most of the science fiction that gives the genre a bad name is adventure stories in space clothes.
Yes.
And I think this exists during the interesting, like, time between the release of 2001: A Space Odyssey and Star Wars.
Right. When before sci-fi had a commercial plug-and-play template that could be replicated by people looking to make money off of it, and in that in-between space where it's like, okay, we know this can work, but we don't really know what the formula is. So, like, let's just keep experimenting with it, is sort of what it feels like.
And there's lots of dark dystopian visions of the future at this point with stuff like THX 1138, Logan's Run, Silent Running, Soylent Green. And it's not really until Star Wars that we're thrown back into the pulpy space opera, space western from, like, the 40s and the 50s that obviously influenced Lucas when he was doing Star Wars.
Right.
And then there's this, and it's like
this thing.
It's sort of mythic.
Right.
It's also sort of dystopian. And very psychedelic. It is such a singular and unique experience. We've said this before, but again, I don't know that we have talked about a movie on this podcast quite like this.
Right.
And I don't know that I've seen a movie quite like this.
I think Zardoz is sort of a singular object in the way that, like, some of the other movies that we say that about are, like, Deadbeat at Dawn and Ninja 3: The Domination, and right, where it's like, yeah, you kind of have to watch Zardoz to get what it is. Because, like, what it is like a fusion of, like, that more, like, heady, like, Dune type sci-fi where we're dealing with big concepts and big themes, and the narrative can sometimes be a little bit complex and impenetrable. And also, it feels like there is, like, a little bit of, like, Flash Gordon, like, pulp sci-fi in here with, like, you know, Sean Connery basically solves most situations in this movie by, like, pointing his 6-shooter at it and blowing it away, you know? And so it's like that also feels a little bit more like on the camp side of like the whole like sci-fi spectrum. And this just exists in a very like weird, sometimes like the tone and the genre of this movie like feels like it's in conflict with itself. Like sometimes it's like I feel like there's like kind of 4 movies all going on and they're like battling for control of which one is going to be the main movie.
Yeah.
You know, because there's like the plot line where like Zed is like an infiltrator to the Eternal Society and he's like gonna lead his squad of brutals in to get revenge, right? Like there's that movie that's happening, and every once in a while that movie will show up. And then there's like the movie where like we're like doing like an almost like first and last men, last and first men rather, vision of the future where we like just go on very like talky explanatory diatribes about like what the future looks like, you know, and like that shit's going on. And then there's like shit that's like way more like camp and weird and silly happening.
There's a little bit of like original Star Trek in here too.
Yeah,
like, just like the Eternals are depicted as humans, and they're you know, this like advanced form of humanity. And, you know, in every seemingly like every other Star Trek episode, they're landing on some planet where it's just a bunch of humans that are saying they're aliens.
Yeah, and those humans are just like more primitive. And...
Yeah, there's parts of this that get very visual and surreal.
Yes. 2001: A Space Odyssey mentioned. I feel like that is clearly an influence on this movie.
Oh yeah, and it was part of the tagline.
Yeah,
You know, beyond 1984,
beyond 2001, beyond love, beyond death. Such a fucking baller tagline for a movie.
It's such a strange tagline for this
movie. This movie. Yeah. So like this movie starts with a big flying head.
So the movie wastes no time in introducing us to who Zardoz is.
Oh yeah,
but don't worry.
Before he's a big flying stone head, he's a big flying actual human head
that's been keyed out
with a drawn-on mustache and goatee. And he's like, "Hello, my name is Alan, whatever his last name is, but also called Zardoz, and I'm here."
Okay, that's who Zardoz is.
And I'm here to tell you about
questions.
What is in the movie, which is I am God, and I lord over this civilization, but I'm a fake God. More on that later. Like, he does this little... It's like the equivalent of a Star Wars title scroll, but delivered by a floating actor's head with a drawn-on mustache and goatee in a blank void, doing the thing that the DVD screensaver does. Where
I was waiting for him to hit the corner. I was like, "Come on, hit the corner, Zardoz."
It's literally that exact thing. Yeah, it's the wild way to start a movie.
1,000 monkeys riding on 1,000 typewriters. I don't think could ever come up with the opening scene of Zardoz.
Or they would come up with it immediately. It would be like first draft. I feel like if you told me that this entire movie was written by monkeys with typewriters, I'd be like, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, he's Zardoz, man. And he does the little like meta thing in the intro where he's like, yes, like this is all, he basically tells you it's a movie. He's like, what you're about to see is like a fake movie that a Hollywood movie studio made about one potential vision of the future. But now think about your own life, and aren't we all, in some ways, on God's production lot? Is basically what he says. Which I'm like, right out the gate, this movie is like, it just comes at you and like drops its pants and is like, look, I'm showing you my whole ass right now. I am laying bare all of my pretense and just being like, I am here to make a point about like the human condition from like scene 1. And I think this movie does an interesting job of handling that mission that it sets out on. Right? It seems like it from the very beginning, it's like, this is a movie about big ideas. This is a serious work of art that is reckoning with like what it means to exist, right? And I'm like, you're coming out of here, coming out of the gate saying that, you're setting me up to like critique you harder than if you like just did that without announcing that you were going to try to do that. And so anytime it tries to like handle a big idea, I'm like, interesting take on this, Zardoz.
I think this intro was a studio mandate to like
to try and make it make more sense.
Try to make the movie make more sense, sort of like the intro to Lynch's Dune or something.
Right, where Princess Irulan is like, so the first thing you have to understand,
I have to explain the plot of the movie for 5 minutes,
is that
uninterrupted.
The worms make spice, and they live on the planet Arrakis. Yeah.
Zardoz is many things as a film.
Yeah.
I definitely say it does not lack for ambition.
No.
One could almost say it suffers due to its ambition. But more on that later.
Yeah.
Because now we have a giant floating head.
Yes, so that with the giant floating guy head is replaced by a giant floating stone head, which looks really good.
It does.
I think
it's a very good striking image.
I think the flying stone head basically always looks good. So the flying stone head floats around for a little bit as we get the opening credits with kind of this like ominous score going over it. And then and we get the title card Zardoz, right?
Yeah, it's the year 2293.
2293,
Very specific date.
Yes. And Zardoz floats down to visit the Brutals. The Brutals are a group of people wearing red diapers who ride around on horses. And, well, these are the brutal exterminators.
Yeah.
The Brutals themselves look like London chimney sweeps.
Yeah, they look like rejects from Christmas Carol.
Yeah. But these guys on horses are the brutal exterminators. So Zardoz, their god, like comes down and visits them with with a proclamation that really lets you know what you're in for in this movie. Which is, he says some other shit, but really the hammer line, the big line, is
the gun is good. The penis is evil.
And then he vomits guns.
He pukes up 1,000 shotguns.
There is I do want to like step back because we're going to have to critique this movie's themes at some point.
Yeah.
There is something interesting to me about the guns that he vomits up and gives to the exterminators, and what the exterminators use, and Sean Connery's running around with this like Wembley Mark II revolver for the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that the guns are all traditionally British military weapons. Like if you've played a World War II game and you've played a British guy, you can recognize these guns.
Yeah. It seems like the movie is trying to say something about, I picked up on that too. Like they do look like military weapons, right? And like, it seems like the movie is trying to say something about the nature of war and how wars are often started by, the elites who are sort of immune to the consequences of warfare, right? Which is very true of the Eternals in this movie, right? It seems like the movie like has a take about that.
Yeah.
Like almost every thematic topic you could imagine. This movie has a take on all of them. It has a take on war. It has a take on politics. It has a take on sexuality, on masculinity, on femininity, on religion, on all of it, on artificial intelligence. Like everything is something that this movie touches on, and like sometimes that's a big problem because it's like pick one thing to be about, Zardoz.
I do think the war imagery is the strongest, though.
Yeah,
I think that's the themes and the ideas it has behind war, masculinity, and the military, and the role that soldiers play in the military.
Yeah,
I think that's the strongest stuff in the movie, visually and thematically.
For me, I think it's the class stuff.
Okay.
Because I think this movie is just big time about class.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Some of the class stuff too.
And so for me, the class stuff is the stuff where I was like, okay, I think that's the thing that this movie maybe does the best, like executes the best.
But Zed has many flashbacks to his time as an exterminator.
Yeah.
And the imagery of the exterminators riding on horses with the masks on that are the same mask as the Zardoz stone head.
Yes.
Like rounding up people, shooting them, assaulting them.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty striking in its presentation.
It is a lot of this movie, even when it doesn't work.
Yes.
It is so striking.
This is my second John Boorman film.
Mhm.
The other one I've seen is The Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Yeah.
Which is not a good movie, but after watching this, I can see how the guy who made Zardoz made The Exorcist 2. Because The Exorcist 2 is also really weird, but occasionally it's weird, often bad, and often visually striking. I've never seen Excalibur, but I know Excalibur is like praised for its visuals, and I've also never seen Deliverance.
Mhm.
And this is his follow-up to Deliverance, Zardoz here.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen any other. I've seen Hope and Glory, but it was like forever ago. I was just trying to think if I had seen any other John Boorman movies. I think that's the only one. I have seen Hope and Glory, but it was a very, very long time ago, so I don't really remember it. Yeah, sorry, you were gonna, so yeah, like what happens in, after the big head vomits up a bunch of guns, is Sean Connery turns to the camera and shoots a gun at the camera, and then the next thing we see is Sean Connery's gun and hand coming out of a bunch of sand in Zardoz's mouth, and initially for like,
I think it's grain.
oh, it's grain. You're right.
I'm pretty sure it's grain.
You're right. Yeah, totally. Because they're harvesting wheat. Yeah. That's the whole point.
But
yep,
anyway.
you're absolutely right.
Sorry, I had to get nerdy about Zardoz for a second.
No, it's fine.
You got one minor detail of the plot incorrect.
It's fine, because in the moment, I was like, oh, he's buried in, like, dirt or, like, sawdust or something. You learn that it's grain later, just like a lot of shit in this movie. You get context on something you saw 40 minutes ago. But yeah, so, like, yeah, his gun in hand come out of a bunch of grain. He climbs out of the grain, and he's in Zardoz's mouth. And for a while, I was just like, how the fuck did he get here? What is going on? And then, like, way later, it's, like, revealed what happens here. But in a way where it's, like, the movie doesn't necessarily set me up to be, like, thinking that it knows that I'm asking the question. You know, like the movie kind of is like, so you were probably wondering how he got in Zardoz's mouth, like way too late, where I was like, I've been wondering that for so long that I had resigned myself to not getting an answer to it. The fact that you are answering this question for me now is honestly kind of disruptive, because I had just accepted that I would never know.
It's sort of like the Diane reveal in Twin Peaks: The Return for me, where it's
right.
like, oh, I didn't know I was getting an answer to
right.
who this person is.
Oh, I had stopped thinking about the question. Like, yeah. But anyway, so he's in Zardoz's mouth, and then a guy we know to be Zardoz.
There's a bunch of naked people. Sort of in stasis.
Right. They're in Capri Sun pouches.
There's a lot of naked people as part of the set design in this film.
There's also a lot of plastic. This is a very plastic-heavy future society.
Oh yeah, it's like Crimes of the Future up in here.
Yeah. But yeah, so like they're in these like plastic pouches, these naked people, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then a guy we know to be Zardoz, because he introduces the movie being like, "Hello, everybody, my name's Arthur. I'm Zardoz." Right? He shows up, and we've already seen that, like, the brutal exterminators have been commanded by Zardoz to take guns and basically kill indiscriminately. So, like, initially you're like, oh, yeah, he's just killing this guy because this guy's here and that's what he's been told to do, right? And so he, like, shoots Zardoz, right? The man, not the big stone head. And he's like, oh, I could have told you, but I guess you'll figure it out on your own. Bye-bye. And then he falls out of Zardoz's mouth and, like, falls 1,000 feet or whatever. And like, we're like 45 seconds into the movie, and already I'm like, what?
We're a little bit longer than we're probably like 5 minutes in.
Right.
Sean Connery.
He does wander around those naked people for a while.
Sean Connery has still not said a word.
No.
But
the script for this movie, I feel like the script for this movie, it's like the amount of text that's in the first hour of this movie was probably about 5 pages. And then the amount of text that's in the rest of the movie was like 38 pages. Like everybody starts talking way more in the latter half of this movie.
See, like, I think this movie is pretty good.
Yeah.
When everyone shuts the fuck up.
Yeah. When we shut the fuck up and let the visuals speak and let kind of the atmosphere sink in. Yeah, I agree. I think it's really cool after the big stone head takes him to the vortex, right? Which is where all the Eternals live. Sorry, if you're not a Zardoz head, you're not going to be following any of this.
We told you to watch the movie.
But he goes to
This episode is only for the elite Zardoz heads.
he goes to the fucking Garden of Eden where all the people who live forever go, right? And he's like, he rides the head there, and he gets out and he's like wandering around. And this is all pretty silent. And this was kind of reminding me of Planet of the Apes in a good way, where I was like, oh yeah, this like moody, atmospheric, like stranger in a strange land shit, where we're just like letting the visuals speak and letting him kind of like react to the environment is all really good. I really enjoyed all of it. I like him finding the fucking music or the Jack in the Box and getting scared by it.
Right. 'Cause
Yeah.
he wanders into this farmhouse, and there's some sort of vaguely futuristic looking pieces of architecture. There's like a statue outside.
There's
He
also
finds
just so much plastic silver tinsel.
right,
Which is like, oh yeah, we're in the future, so everyone's just decorating with silver plastic.
or like the plastic plants. He finds like some machinery and stuff like that, but he eventually wanders into the farmhouse, and we're led to believe that this farmhouse belongs to Arthur Frayne,
Right.
Zardoz.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of like nice set design and visual storytelling here with like on the wall you can see the various evolutionary stages of man, and then after Homo sapien is eternal.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of already know who the Eternals are before you're really even introduced to them.
Yeah.
And yeah, stuff like him being scared by the Jack in the Box. He finds a ring that starts listing off different like resources.
This is
each vortex.
This is where Sean Connery discovers the like iPhone 38 and starts talking to Siri for the first time.
It's an Apple Watch.
It is an Apple Watch, yeah. It's an Apple Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it like projects. The projection effect is pretty cool. When it like projects images and stuff. But yeah, basically like this is like some kind of AI that all the Eternals have like in these rings that they all wear all the time. Yeah. So he like finds this and that's our first indication that it's like, oh, this is like a hyper technologically advanced like futuristic civilization, because everything we've seen so far has been pretty like primitive, other than the guns, right? Like the gun is the most sophisticated thing we see until the like ring. You know? Yeah.
I don't know. Those red panties are quite sophisticated.
Sophisticated red diaper.
Whatever fucking that space age technology created that toupee that Sean Connery's wearing with the ponytail attached to it.
He looks fucking insane in this movie. He looks wild in this movie because like the costume is part of it. But then, yeah, he also has, like, a toupee in the front and, like, a full-on, like, wig thing, hair extension in the back. Because he's got this big, long braid.
He looks like fucking Khal Drogo.
And then he's
also got, like, a giant fucking Dothraki braid.
And then he's also wearing a wool sweater. Oh, sorry, that's his body hair. It is just fucking chest hair city through this
harvest my own chest hair to make my toupees. Every few months, I just shave them off and collect the hair and glue it to a toupee. Yeah. So around here, he finally runs into the Eternals. He runs into May.
Yeah.
He explains to May that Zardoz is his god. He's an exterminator for Zardoz.
Yeah. I like when she's like being all eternal magic ethereal to him. And there's like the looped shot of her walking towards him. she's like walking towards him and talking, and then we see the same shot of her walking towards him and talking. Like it's almost like she like manipulates his perception of time or some shit. It's sort of not really explored in this movie, like what the Eternals can do. They have like psychic powers.
Yeah, they're exploring his memories somehow.
Yeah, and then like later they have like psychic. They do a psychic thing to Friend later, where they like make him pass out for not meditating with them on level 2. And then like at one point Friend like psychically inflicts pain on Zed, but it's like all of that stuff basically happens once and is like never explored further. Yeah.
We do get a little bit of context for all of the dead people making up part of the scenery.
Oh yeah.
Which is that Arthur died in his fall, and he's regenerating in the tank, and there's you see a little fake fetus in a plastic bag regenerating.
Because basically, like all the Eternals, they live forever, and they can still die from trauma, like from being shot or whatever. Their bodies can still die, but then they are immediately like basically reincarnated. Yeah.
And it looks like Arthur was assigned to control this specific group of Brutals.
His job was to be God.
Yeah. Or he decided that his job was God. It's unclear.
They say nobody else wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. So like everybody else was like, being God, that seems like too much work. I'll just fucking like take a bread making shift or whatever. And Arthur Fring was like, I am the guy. I know you're laughing. Sorry. I know you're laughing about the green bread.
The green bread in this movie.
Damn it! I was gonna wait for this, but it's time for another edition of Would We Eat This?
Fuck you.
The bread's green in this movie, dog.
I don't remember any of the other food. There's several banquet scenes around this dinner table.
The green bread,
but the green bread really sticks out.
It really sticks out.
And yes, we do see it get made, and they have a little bread oven.
Yes. Yes, there's a bunch of people whose job is bread, right?
I like at the
it seems to be made. Sorry, continue.
No, I like at the dinner table. I think my favorite thing in this movie is the scene at I think it's like the first scene at the dinner table where they're debating what they're going to do with Zed.
Yeah.
And everyone passes the loaf of bread around, and then it gets to the last person, and then he finally breaks it.
Yeah.
I thought that was very fun.
It is very fun.
Everyone gets to hold the bread.
Yes, everyone gets to touch the bread before we break the bread, because it's a perfectly egalitarian society, right? But I want to know if we would eat this green bread, because it appears to be made out of regular wheat flour, but then some shit is going on that's making it green. And what that is totally unclear, like many things in this movie. We know that they're having the Brutals grow wheat for them to make into bread. We see flour get thrown at one point when Sean Connery is making a dramatic escape. He just chucks a bunch of flour at people. It's regular white flour, which means there is some other ingredient other than the base wheat in this bread that is making it green. Now, do the Eternals just like the color green and they're using food coloring in this shit? Who knows? My question is, are you gambling on that green bread not knowing what the green is?
That particular shade of green does somewhat remind me of Soylent Green, and as we all know, Soylent Green is people.
It's people.
And I would eat a person.
Right. So you're really hoping for the Soylent Green variety?
Not necessarily, but I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah.
So I think by logic, I do have to eat the green bread. If Burger King can put out every fucking 6 months, like a Stranger Things burger that has a black bun for some fuck reason, I think I can eat the green bread.
Yeah. Like squid ink in their bun or whatever. Although at Burger King, it's not squid ink. It's just fucking dyes and shit.
No, but H.R. Giger has told me that he's opening a burger restaurant that uses squid ink.
Yes. Would you like a bite of my Black Angus black burger?
Do you know what it's called?
What?
Giger's Grill.
Typewriter ribbon. Now I'm just quoting the Matt Gorley bit.
Try our new biomechanical buffalo wings.
Made with real buffalo. I have genetically engineered a buffalo
They have
to grow
wings
wings. I'm conflicted on the green bread. The reason I'm conflicted on it is the Eternals have like conditioned themselves to be totally emotionless and to like feel no joy or passion or anything. And I imagine that means their food probably tastes like ass, you know? Like, I feel like if they're all living this kind of like stoic, meditative life, I feel like exciting tasting food is probably a no-no in Eternal society.
Dude, it's bread.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
when's
but
the last time you had an exciting piece of bread?
Oh, my man, you need to step up your bread game. You ever had a good focaccia? Fucking... I've had some breads. I've eaten breads that you people wouldn't even believe.
Bread is good, but I've never... I don't know, it's like...
You've never been moved by a magnificent slicer loaf?
I mean, I do. I every once in a while I remember that like I can buy bread and butter at the store, and I buy that, and I just spread butter on bread and put a little flaky salt or kosher salt on top.
Yeah, it's wonderful,
and that's a delicious snack. But I can't imagine it is hard to fuck up bread.
True, but there's also the green to contend with.
Like,
and I'm
if you're trying to make a specific type of bread, the way that you fuck it up is you just end up making a different type of bread that you didn't intend to make. Yeah. Because you didn't fold it enough times or something.
You can really fuck up bread, though. Like, if it doesn't rise and it just becomes like a fucking super dense, flat, like, starch fucking brick, that shit's pretty inedible. But, yeah, I mean... So the thing to contend with in the green bread for me is the green, right? Because it's like, is this a lembas bread situation where like the Eternals are just eating this for all of their nutrition, and this is basically just, it contains all of their like vitamins and shit that they need to keep their eternal bodies running? Because I imagine that tastes like fucking absolute ass, right? That being said, the movie doesn't give us enough context, so I'm still curious enough that I would eat the green bread. I don't expect the green bread to be good, though.
You slice one of those down the middle, you put some butter and brie on it, and you let me take a bite out of the middle like I'm Ben Horn. I think it's going to be good.
Lots of Twin Peaks references on the Zardoz episode so far, which I feel like is fitting.
I mean, I'll say I had an easier time watching Inland Empire than watching Zardoz.
Yeah.
I feel like I have more concrete, clear thoughts about the symbols and meaning of Inland Empire.
I think that's because Inland Empire has a more clear idea of its own meaning than Zardoz does. Anyway, this has been Would We Eat This? Anyway, we weren't to the green bread yet. We were talking about,
I mean, there's a lot of like,
right.
We've entered the exposition point
of
the movie where there's just like lots of stuff trying to explain the Eternal society.
Right. The Eternals find him and they're basically like, oh, a brutal got here. That's weird. This doesn't usually happen. We have to study him. So they like look at his memories and shit. That's where we see some of the like war stuff that you were talking about, where he's like shooting people. He's like catching a lady in a net and then like mounting her in his red diaper.
They decide they have a vote on what to do with him.
Yeah.
Because May wants to study him, and Consuela, played by Charlotte Rampling, wants to kill him.
Yeah.
He licks Friend's hand at one point, which I thought was funny.
I love that. when Sean Connery licks this dude's hand, I was just like, oh, this movie rules. Also, I like when they're watching, because they watch all of his memories. May watches all of his memories in like a weird like glass pyramid or some shit. But then like later in the scene you're talking about where he licks Friend's hand, she's like playing all of his memories like they're a PowerPoint presentation, and I like that the screen is just like a fucked up shape. Like it's like in the future a screen can't be a rectangle. It has to be like a weird, like it has to have weird angles and be like super irregular. Just the little details in this movie where it's like, oh yes, we are in the future, so of course the screen that we're watching all of this on is like a goofy little shape, or like of course the bread is green. It's very funny to me.
John Alderton,
Yeah.
who plays Friend.
Yeah,
I really like this performance.
me too. I think he rocks in this movie.
I think most of the performances, especially like Charlotte Rampling and Sara Kestelman, who plays May,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them kind of fall into like, we are just like establishment, trained, respected British actors,
Right.
and we're just gonna sell this bizarre dialogue and exposition by just doing our British actor thing.
Yes, the Peter Cushing school, if you will.
Yeah. And I think it's largely successful.
Yeah.
But I feel like the John Alderton gives Friend a little bit more flavor and personality.
Yes, I agree. I like Friend a lot.
And this is where we start seeing a lot of like the class themes introduced, because he has Zed pull his cart around the kingdom, and we see some of the different like other pockets of society here.
When they introduce the fact that like when you get punished in this, okay, so first they go to the apathetics. Because before we see the renegades, we set up what happens to the renegades when he's voting in a trial on his little ring, right?
Yeah.
So they go to the apathetics, and we're introduced to a whole like cast of this eternal society who are like living their eternal lives basically completely catatonic, right? Because they've just like ceased to be able to give a shit about anything, which is a really interesting idea that the movie like sort of only explores for about 2.5 minutes.
Sure. This movie loves introducing an idea.
Yes.
Spending exactly 2 sentences exploring that idea and then moving on to something else.
And then being like, "What? We have more ideas. We'll get back to that." And they usually do get back to it for one more scene. Like there's like 2 apathetic scenes. There's 2 renegade scenes.
Right.
Just so that the movie's like, we didn't forget. We know we introduced this. We're fleshing it out this much more, and that's it. So there's the scene with the apathetics where like Friend gets like a little notification on his tabernacle ring, right? And it's like like so and so is like up for trial for like having bad vibes, basically.
They basically say that negative aura.
Yes, he has like a negative aura. He's like accused of like psychic violence or whatever, right?
Right, psychic violence.
Yeah. Where basically this dude is just like...
There are a couple quotes in this movie that I think could be used in metal songs.
Yeah. Yes. Or weaponized by the therapy community. I feel like psychic violence is something I'm going to start hearing about from the most annoying people I've ever met.
You just drive down to Sedona and someone comes up to you with a pamphlet.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to like text a friend being like, "Hey, can you like do me like a little bit of a favor here? Like I'm in a bind. I need someone to help me out." And they're going to respond by being like, "I'm sorry. I don't have the capacity right now to manage your negative aura, and I'm going to have to close the door on this psychic violence right now."
He inflicted psychic violence on me. He just asked you to do the dishes.
This is an act of psychic violence. Yeah. But so like this guy's on trial, right? And I like that like he's trying to like play on the like he's trying to play the compassionate angle with the jury, being like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm innocent." And then he like gives up the act and he's like, "Actually, I fucking hate all of you. I actually hate every single one of you pieces of shit." And then Friend is like, "Yeah, let's go. Preach, my brother." And he's like, innocent on all counts. Absolutely. This guy's saying shit I like. 'Cause all of these people have been like, they were born, we learned that this generation that's currently around has been born into immortality. They were like born into an immortal society.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, you live fucking 300 years or whatever around all the same people. You're going to get really fucking sick of every single person after a while.
You just live in a hippie commune forever.
Forever.
And you can't even kill yourself because you'll just be regenerated.
Yes. It sounds like a nightmare. And so this
I
guy
think
being like, fuck you, especially fuck you.
I think Friend mentions that. He's like, yeah, I killed myself a couple of times just for the hell of it.
Yeah. It's like, I just get fucking born again at the tabernacle, right? But yeah, so like Fred, we get introduced to the idea that there is like crime and punishment in this society through this scene, and he's like, oh yeah, the punishment is like they age you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to the renegades, the other thing that happens in this apathetic scene is Sean Connery is wandering around as the outsider to this world and is like, yes, all these people are catatonic. That probably means I can cop a feel up this lady's shirt, yes. I'm gonna squeeze a titty and see if that gets a reaction.
And then it's I mean, it's a Sean Connery movie, like he has to commit sexual violence at least once.
It's wild that his first reaction to seeing this catatonic woman is being like, let me see what that titty feels like.
and Friend is like, yeah, if you want her, you can take her. And he just like picks her up and chucks her into this pile of straw.
He throws her twice. The second time really made me laugh.
Yeah.
Because he picks her up and throws her into the straw and is like, I'm going to get sexy with this lady who clearly has a severe mental problem, right? And he like starts getting on top of her and kissing her, and he's like, she's not responding to my sexual assault. I can't get off unless she fights back, right? And so he's like, oh, what the fuck, right? And that's when Friend explains more about the apathetics, where he's basically like, yeah, like they just don't respond to shit anymore. Like,
were they Eternals and they've become apathetics?
They still are Eternals, right? They are Eternals, but like they've just stopped giving a shit about anything, and they just don't respond to stimuli anymore.
Because I feel like there's more background given to the Renegades. And the apathetics are just sort of there.
Yeah, well, they do say that the reason that they started making the Brutals grow wheat, like grow crops, is to feed the apathetics.
Right.
So that they don't just like starve, I guess.
Because the apathetics are basically like cattle now.
Yeah, basically, right. But yeah, so like after he explains the whole deal with the apathetics, the second time Sean Connery throws this woman did really make me laugh, because he basically is like, oh, she's not going to respond at all, eh? Well, off this goes into the fucking trash, and just hurls this woman, like, basically over his shoulder into the pile of straw, and she's just, like, laying there half buried in straw, like, not moving in the background for the rest of the shot, and it was really sending me. And then we see her start to like wake up a little bit, because she's like, oh, I kind of like how that guy threw me away like I was trash. This stirred something in me. I haven't felt anything in 200 years. Yeah. It's wild. But yeah, so like Friend is basically like, yeah, like if you're punished, they age you. And so then we go see the Renegades, and they just ride a cart through like a combination nursing home / frat house / the fucking theme park that the family lives in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's like a nursing home full of old, insane, horny, violent zombies. I love the Renegades. They're hilarious.
Yeah, this I think is one of the more visually interesting parts of the movie.
Yeah.
And I think this movie is often strange, is often maybe falls into like the category of something that's campy or so bad that it's good, but I do think it is taking itself extremely seriously.
Yes.
And the Renegades is a part of the movie where it like lightens up a little bit.
Yeah. I agree. I think the Renegade stuff is like kind of some of the best stuff in this movie, both because it's like the movie takes itself a little less seriously, and also some of the like the weirdest shit is Renegade shit. Like later on, when the Renegades have all kind of like broken loose from the madhouse and are like roaming the vortex, while like the apathetics have woken back up in an insane way, which we'll talk about later. But like the apathetics are all like fucking each other, and then the renegades are all running around, and like there's a renegade wearing a huge paper mache head running around in a diaper.
Yeah.
And one of them's like dressed up like Dracula. It's like it's psycho shit.
If you guys haven't figured out by now, this episode's going to be a little loosey goosey. We're not going to get to everything,
right? And also, we can't talk about this movie in order because I don't remember the order in which things happen.
Literally,
this
like,
movie just kind of happens to you.
No less than 1 billion things happen in this movie. I don't think there's a movie that has had more things happen in it.
Yes. I would agree. At one point, Sean Connery, we might have already passed it. It might still have yet to happen. But at one point, Sean Connery gets sucked into a pyramid and looks very unconvincingly afraid that he is falling into a pyramid that defies gravity.
I love a mysterious pyramid in a movie, though.
Yeah.
Very
a lot
cool.
of the imagery in this movie is rad as fuck.
Yeah, anytime we got like a bunch of mirrors
It's
and shit.
All that shit looks
Anytime
great.
we're in an indeterminate black void, it's cool.
Also, anytime we're like really utilizing the Irish countryside as a location, like that shit all really works too. I think a lot of this movie's really beautiful. It's also just like insane and incomprehensible. Yeah.
Then we have the penis lecture. Sorry, man, I'm late for the penis lecture. I gotta go.
David,
I got the penis lecture down on South Campus.
David, this is one of the funniest. This is one of the. This is one of the funniest things.
The cartoon penis growing hard,
and meanwhile, Charlotte Rampling.
Also,
Charlotte
Bro's like a solid like incher, soft, and like at least 6 hard. Bro is definitely a grower, not a shower.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. At least you got the length where it matters, my man. Yes, this scene is one of the funniest things that I have ever seen in a movie we've covered on this podcast, and it is not. The crucial thing is that it is not trying to be. This scene is not trying to be hilarious. It feels like the movie is really trying to say something in this scene. But like, it's Charlotte Rampling getting up in front of a bunch of people being like, and we still don't know how men's boners work. After 300 years of immortality.
Like they understand the physiology of it.
But we don't understand why men get boners.
So we're going to show images to Sean Connery.
And see what gets him hard.
And it's like at one point it's just naked breasts. At one point it's like
the point at which this movie turns into Sean Connery looking at that fucked up like angular screen, and it's just a woman like lathering her soapy tits, and him just being like, not impressed. I was like, I think this is the best movie of all time. Because he's just looking at it and he's like, take a lot more than that to get me hard. You'll have to show me Charlotte's Playboy spread from earlier this year.
I'm gonna have to Google that later.
Yeah, definitely. Look into it. It's worth Googling.
Okay, cool. Good to know. And then there's another image of like 2 figures that I don't think they have like really distinguishable features other than boob, but they're like covered in mud and wrestling, and that doesn't get him hard.
No.
And then Charlotte Rampling stands in front of him and he's like, hachi machi.
I think he does it to prove a point. I think he has like full control over his boner, right?
He has boner powers?
Right. I think he has I think he has like he's, as we learn later in this movie, he is the Lisa Al-Gaib. So I think he has control over every cell in his body, and he's just like choosing to get a boner at her to prove a point. I don't know what the point is.
Can I tell a sex story for a second here?
Sure.
I was with a woman, and I did that thing where you make your boner jump. You know what I'm talking about?
Ladies love that.
And
I think it's so funny.
She was completely flummoxed.
Yeah.
Like her brain melted.
Yeah.
And she was like, how the fuck did you do that?
You can just do it.
You can just do it.
You can just
you
do
just
it.
think about it.
Hey, ladies listening to the podcast, You can just do that if you're.
It was hilarious.
If you're the owner of a penis, you make it wiggle around a little bit.
I was like, this. She had been with I lived with her, so I was aware that she had many partners over to the house over the years, and I was like, yeah, you can just do that. You haven't run into this before. No guy's been like, hey, let me make it dance for you for a second, just as a goof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, she must have really been picking a bunch of losers. Nobody ever did the cock dance at her.
Anyway.
So Sean Connery does the cock dance at Charlotte Rampling.
Yeah.
Check this shit out.
I was really
Look what I can do.
I was really hoping.
I'm making it wiggle a little bit for you. That doing anything for you?
She walks up to him. She looks down. He might look down too, but it's like a 2-shot, so it goes back to him. And I really just wanted a close up of a fake boner in those red panties.
I thought we were gonna get it. We don't. That's fine. Classy move, John Boorman. Make us leave it to the imagination. I understand. Yeah, the boner lecture is batshit insane. That's one of those moments in this movie where I'm like, what is this movie trying to say exactly? Because it spends so much time being like, how do boners work? And I'm like, is that a question that we're asking in this movie?
Well, there's a lot of discussion about procreation.
So much about inseminating,
like
and seed, and yeah.
I mean, and even from the fucking the first few lines of the movie when the Zardoz head says, "The gun is good, the penis is evil."
Yeah.
He's like, the penis shoots its seed and makes more people, and
but
that sucks shit.
But it's sort of immediately contradicted by the fact that Zed goes through his memories and we see him and the rest of the exterminators routinely assaulting women.
Well, that's because he has a license to breed. He says that. He's like, my father had a license to breed, and so do I.
Oh, okay.
And we learn that that's because he has been selectively bred, much like Paul Atreides in Dune,
yeah.
to become the Kwisatz Haderach. Yes. But yeah. There's so much talk about fucking and procreation and in this movie. In a way where I'm like, I'm not really sure what the movie's take is other than sex good.
Well, and it's also just men's natural tendency is to kill and fuck. And that's not necessarily a take that I disagree with, or a critique of masculinity that I think is holds no water. But again, it doesn't do anything further with it.
Right. It's basically like men want to kill and fuck, and we should let them want to, is sort of how the end of the movie pans out. And I'm like, I don't really think that's true.
I don't know if the end of the movie is supposed to be happy or not.
Right.
We haven't gotten there yet, but it is a strange...
It's very bizarre.
Strange ending. I don't know how to feel about it.
Anyway, we'll get there. We will get there. Yeah, so they're studying him. They're basically keeping him as a pet. At one point, they go to this, they have this big dinner, which we talked about earlier, where they pass around the green bread. They have Sean Connery here, serving potatoes. It's friends, apparently, because we learned that this is a totally egalitarian society, right? So everyone does everything equally. And it's Friend's day to cook dinner. And instead of Friend, serving the dinner, he's, having Zed do it, right? And everybody gets pissed off at him. And this leads to a big debate being hey, should we already voted on this earlier, but, let's revote. Should we fucking kill this guy? And they take another vote on it, and it's basically... I also love how when they're voting... all of their rings activate or whatever to record their vote, but then everybody votes a different way. It's somebody's doing the hand across the neck thing, somebody's doing a finger to the lips, some people are saying shit. It's everyone's vote is different, and it's this seems like it is so much more complicated than it needs to be. Instead of inventing one futuristic thing where it's oh, people do this to vote in the future, they're no, every individual person has their own voting method, and we're going to show you all 20 of them.
Yeah.
But basically it lands on she has a week more to study him, and then he's going to be killed.
Right.
And then So like this like makes the room kind of erupt in some chaos. And then this like lady with like Princess Leia buns stands up and she's like, "Through the monster, we see ourselves. Let us all meditate on this on level 2. Meditate with me on level 2."
I think this is the same lady that just keeps showing up to say shit in this movie.
Yes,
and is never introduced.
I'm pretty sure she's the one who like fully with her tits out later is like, "I want you to kill me."
Yeah,
Sean
I think it's
Connery."
her.
Yeah. She seems to be the spiritual leader of the Eternals in some way. She seems to be the one who's like, "I'm the one who is I'm the yoga instructor here in the Eternal Society. Namaste, my fellow Eternals." Yes. So they all meditate on level 2, which is it's one of my favorite parts of this movie when all the actors just like who are playing the Eternals at this table just like put their arms up and waggle their hands at each other.
They all stick their hands up and they start going like ooga booga, and then Friend falls over because they're like taking his life force
because
they're reducing his age.
Because he's like, "No, I don't want to join you on level 2.
Yeah,
no, I will not be meditating." It's this scene was also really sending me the 1-2 punch of like the boner lecture a few scenes earlier, and then this shit happening. I was like, "Oh yeah, now we're cooking with gas, dog." Let's see these fucking weirdos meditating and like killing a dude with meditation. But yeah, so basically, like he starts mouthing off too much.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, like we name you Renegade. We're gonna fucking age you into the retirement home,
right?
Because you've got a bad vibe."
And I think at this point, Zed escapes from the dinner. Zed escapes.
He kind of just walks out because they're all fucking locked in on level 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say Zed escapes from the Eternals with relative ease at multiple points during this movie,
and then he goes and bangs on an invisible wall.
Right, because he runs to the edge of the vortex and finds that there's like an invisible shield wall.
Yeah.
And it is funny to just see Sean Connery just like miming hitting an invisible wall, and then at one point they actually give him a pane of glass to interact with.
Yes,
which is so you can see him smush his face up against it.
Yeah.
But he can see the other exterminators in the distance, and he starts signaling to them. Mm-hmm. And
right, this is where we're getting some of that movie.
Yeah,
which is like him leading his team of exterminators to come kill the Eternals.
Right, it starts planting those seeds, and then he goes back to the Renegades and find that Friend has joined them, and he has fully like Two-Face makeup.
Why?
Where one half of his face is
did they only
melted?
Age him halfway.
I don't know, but it's kind of cool and I like it. And
I like it too.
And I think the makeup looks good.
Just no other Renegade looks like that.
Yeah.
Like the rest of them are mostly played by actual old people.
I think they were just like, this one's just a warning.
Right. So they only aged half of his face, and he's talking in like a half old person
You get to go
voice.
hang out in the ballroom from The Shining for a little bit.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's so funny, him in this like Two-Face makeup. And then so basically like he's pissed off because he's like, "You did this to me, I stuck up for you, and then they aged half my face." So he sicks all the old people on Sean Connery, and then there's just like a full-on sequence which is like Sean Connery being mobbed by like old people zombies who are tearing at him and being like, "Death, return him to death." Because he's like, Friend is like, this guy's immortal, he can die, right? And so then all the Eternals are really interested in that because like they've never seen death, or it's been forever since they've seen death. So they're like, "Oh yeah, like that's a new thing. Let's kill this guy and see what it's like when the life leaves someone's eyes."
Well, and they also introduced the old guy who seems to be like King Renegade or whatever, who's essentially like lying on his deathbed, but he can't die. He's just so fucking old.
Yeah, and we learned that he's like one of the ones who like created the machine that made everyone immortal in the first place.
Yeah, like he knows about the tabernacle, which they don't really get into the tabernacle towards the end of until the end of the movie, and they just like,
it's almost like this movie just decides to be about the tabernacle.
Yeah. It just likes
10
introducing
minutes
things
before the end, yeah.
without context. He goes back to find May and goes into a little bit more about his past.
Yeah.
Where we get more of the imagery of him and the rest of the exterminators attacking the just the common folk, the common brutals.
Yeah.
And this imagery is like this whole scene at like a bombed out, ruined with these bombed out ruined buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
This is all pretty effective stuff.
I agree.
He sees a face in a window and goes to find a library and finds a this figure who is later revealed to be Zardoz doing a little goof with him.
Yes.
Is like taunting him with this alphabet book.
Yes.
And then Zardoz is like, not Zardoz. Take a shot every time you say Zardoz.
Die instantly.
Yeah.
Yes, Zed learns to read
through
the alphabet book. He's like, I took it up pretty quickly, actually. And what we learn here, I think it's here, or around here, is that like Zed is like a mutant and he is actually like smarter and we learned that before the dinner scene even.
Yeah, he's like, I think May says that he's like genetically superior.
Yes.
And he has to remain like docile
yeah.
and in servitude to like protect himself.
But he's actually smarter and stronger than all of the immortal people.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting thing that this movie introduces, which also makes some of his past behavior totally it totally does not square with that information, because it's like, okay, you're telling me that this guy is like has been playing like 8-dimensional chess this entire time. He's like way ahead of these people, right? And also, like, when he's introduced to like the catatonic apathetic woman, he's like, let me grab this titty, like that guy's the fucking super genius. Who's smarter than everyone else in the movie.
We haven't talked about Connery's performance yet.
Yes. No, we haven't.
What do you think of it?
He's good. I think he's good in this.
I think he's doing as good as anyone with this like batshit insane script.
The problem is like his character has to do so much. Like, he has to be like Heston's character from Planet of the Apes, and also Paul Atreides, and also a literal caveman, and also like fucking God himself. It's just, I can't imagine any actor pulling this off better, I guess. I think he's game, He seems like he's game for all of the shit in this movie, and I feel like that's the best you can do.
I mean, at this point, he's a few years removed from Bond. He wants to do something different. Like, he wanted to reinvent his career.
This is different.
And took this on. Like, it's definitely different. It seems like you can kind of tell when Connery doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
He's one of those actors.
Yeah.
And in a couple of the later Bond movies, you can clearly see he doesn't want to be here. And I think he almost gets there in this movie, but I think he's good enough and enough of a professional that he never quite stoops to that level. But his character is, like you said, it's so underwritten, and yet has to do so many things. He has to be the chosen one. He has to be a caveman, and like just like a very simple audience surrogate to this strange world.
Right. But then it like later it's revealed that the audience surrogate actually knew more than everyone else in the movie the whole time.
He has to have like the occasional bizarre emotional outbursts, which I think he handles those moments really well.
I agree. Yeah.
And this is one of those where he's eventually like he's trying to reveal what the book is that like changed his life and like changed his perspective on things to May, and it comes out that it's the Wizard of Oz.
Yes. And Zardoz, Wizard of Oz, Zardoz.
Yeah, and they someone puts their thumb up in between the at the on the covering the of, so you can clearly see Zardoz in capital letters.
When that happened in this movie, I did scream out loud.
It is fucking wild.
I am gonna reenact that right now. So like, it's the reveal is that like the name of the film, the name of the fake god from like the early part of this movie is inspired by the book The Wizard of Oz, and I went, what?
If I didn't like this movie, which I don't, I like this movie.
I also like.
We'll
this
talk
movie.
about it. This would have been the moment where I said, "Fuck you, movie."
It is. It's a ballsy move to be like, all right, we're putting our cards on the table.
But I think at this point, like, there's been enough
inspired by The Wizard of Oz.
There's been enough goofy shit in this movie that I'm just like,
I don't
all
give a
right,
shit.
whatever.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that's basically So like, we also haven't talked about how like Sean Connery is like reckoning with like killing God for the early part of this movie. And this is where we learn that he knew that like the god that he killed wasn't real earlier, which kind of like changes your perspective on like the whole first hour of the movie, basically. Because it's like the whole early part of the movie, you're like, oh, this is like a man who like still believes that Zardoz is God, and he like thinks he murdered his own god.
Yeah, because there's a point where Zardoz wants them to stop killing the Brutals, and just enslave them.
Yeah,
and that sort of contradicts what they know from Zardoz's teachings.
It's so funny the way that like Sean Connery talks about that too, because he's like, all these suddenly Zardoz changed his mind and didn't want us to hunt and eat red meat anymore. He wanted us to farm like a bunch of wokies. It's very much the energy of it, where he's just like,
wanted us to become a bunch of soy boy beta cocks.
Well, no, we didn't. Back in my day, we didn't need wheat. We ate bison from the rugged plains.
It did have me thinking. I was like, oh yeah, there must have been some Neolithic man who was like, I don't know what's up with all this woke gathering. You know, hunting is the way to go. My dad hunted, his dad hunted, and now everybody's talking about gathering. You know, why can't we just stick to tradition? We used to worship the sun. What's up with this worshiping the moon shit? There must have been that guy. There must have been that guy.
Every night we have gone out to hunt the saber-toothed tiger. Why should we change now?
Yeah, now all of a sudden everybody doesn't want to hunt the saber-toothed tiger anymore. They say that we can, domesticate cattle instead.
Saber-toothed burgers are delicious. What's with this plant-based horse shit?
Yeah, drinking milk from cows like a bunch of pussies. Why don't you drink blood instead, like we've done for hundreds of years? Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, like, I don't know. I just think it's interesting that the movie kind of like it has the lens of like, oh, like this is a man who's been disillusioned with his god in the early part of the movie. And then it's like, oh no, he was disillusioned with his god like way before that, actually, like before we even met him, because he read this book and realized that it was all like a farce. He realized that like his god was false,
and then
before he killed him.
And then it's further revealed that he was manipulated by his god the whole time.
Yes, and then that guy was manipulated by another god. This movie, Sean Connery kills God twice in this movie, which is also fucking insane. That Sean Connery, with a 6-shooter revolver, kills God twice.
Oh, and also this whole reveal is happening between Zed and May under a sheet.
Yes,
and they're basically having sex.
Yeah, they're
it's very erotic.
Right, they're like, she's like fucking his mind, and he is presumably literally fucking her.
Yeah.
Body.
And Consuela discovers them and is
like, oh,
angry.
This is the research you wanted to do. I see how it is.
Apparently, Charlotte Rampling was really looking forward to her sex scene with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And then was disappointed when it was very short.
Yeah. Yeah. The sex scene isn't really here.
It's later in the movie.
It's later in the movie.
I do sort of imagine that some of that anger was like coming from a real place in that performance.
Yeah. She was like, when do I get to fuck Sean Connery?
When do I get to tug on that toupee ponytail?
They sort of have some foreplay here where they're wrestling over the sheet, though, in a little kind of sexy tug of war that they got going on here. And then he like gets too violently horny and like rips her shirt open, but she's like into it.
Yeah. And then I think that lady that's just like that shows up every once in a while to deliver exposition here tells us a little bit more about the background of the Eternals, where like the world was dying.
Right.
They decided to preserve human knowledge and sealed themselves off for the rest of the world.
A thing that's interesting to me in this movie, and again, a thing that works for me the most in this movie is maybe the class stuff. Here it kind of gets solidified, right? Because we've already been playing with class. Like the Eternals view the Brutals as basically like animals. Like Charlotte Rampling literally says to May, she's like, "You're going to be put on trial for bestiality for fucking this brutal, right?" And so they view the Brutals...
Bestiality? Ma'am, I'm just a Scotsman.
No, I'm not actually part sheep, despite my woolly chest. You could shave me and make a knit cap out of it.
I'm knighted by the Queen herself, after all. I'm a sophisticated British man.
But yeah, like they view the Brutals as like totally subhuman, right? And they also like there's also like a thing that happens in real life with like class dynamics where like the Eternals are like the richest of the rich, and when we get the lady who does shirtless exposition explaining this to Sean Connery, she's like, yeah, like the Eternals were the richest, the most powerful, and the most intelligent people who basically like sequestered themselves off and left the rest of the world to rot, right? So it's like very clearly like this is the elite class, like these are like the billionaire class, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they're then pitting then they like raise some of the Brutals up and give them guns and are like, you're the exterminators, you go kill the rest of those people who are like pests to us, right? And it's like that's an interesting thing. That sort of is reflective of how class operates in our actual world, right? How like the richest of the rich never need to really worry about armed conflicts or whatever. It's basically just like, oh, we're the people who tell the people at the bottom who gets the guns and who should be killed, right?
And we use the military and the police to pit class against each other.
Exactly.
As a way to gain more favor with the upper class,
right? And as a way for the richest of the rich to cement their position, right? To assure that they will not be challenged, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, like let's waste all of the underclass's resources on infighting amongst themselves, right? And it's like that part of this movie I think is actually handled with enough like thought and care that I'm sort of like, Zardoz made a point about something, and this is really where that like solidified for me is when she's talking about like how this all happened,
Yeah, and some of the imagery of the Brutals, like you said, basically Dickensian street urchins, like
right, they're just like covered in soot.
They're just like pounding against the walls of the barrier,
right, trying to get into the vortex,
and they're just like, yeah, we just basically get to live in this Garden of Eden. Like, yeah, that stuff works pretty well.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically here she's also like, also like, I want to die, so you have the power to kill because you're the chosen one. So definitely like kill me for sure. And also here's a magic leaf that does nothing.
Yeah, he's given the leaf when he's sealed up in the plastic with the plants that he eventually breaks through.
Oh, is that what lets him break through the impenetrable plastic?
Maybe. I was just assuming it was plastic and he could tear through it easily.
It's so fucking funny when they trap him in that plastic and then like someone like an 80-yard line of dialogue is like, it's impenetrable, there's no way he can break through it, and then it's just Sean Connery's fist breaking through like a Glad bag.
In a movie of a billion insane ideas, I do think the idea that plastic is somehow this impenetrable barrier is maybe the silliest.
Yes, and the magic leaf.
Like,
the magic
maybe-
leaf is also very silly.
Like, maybe spend a little bit more money. Maybe do something here.
Right. At least give us.
So
like,
it's not Sean Connery breaking through Saran wrap as a powerful moment of the third act of this film.
Yeah, there is like a dramatic music swell and everything. It's so funny. But yeah, so she's basically like, yeah, like I want to die. I'm on your side. And I don't know, like fucking he goes to see Friend at this point too.
Yeah,
around here.
Somewhere in here he runs to the barrier and orders the exterminators again, or makes signals to the exterminators again. He runs into the apathetics and they sort of do the like moaning thing from Midsommar.
They all
where they say we take life from you, life flows out of you and into us. And they all start kissing each other, and this then leads to them having sex.
But the thing
what wakes them up, though?
The thing that wakes them up is the lady who he threw in the straw earlier, who's like partially awake already, puts her finger to his face and gets one drop of his sweat and licks his sweat, and it makes her ravenously horny, and then she passes the one drop of sweat that she has already like licked a little bit of to the next person, and then they like take the sweat on their tongue and pass it to the next person with their tongue. It's wild. It's
okay,
wild.
I'm sorry I forgot that because like again, there's a billion fucking things happening in this movie.
Sean Connery's masculine,
just
dirty sweat.
You could bottle it and put it in an energy drink.
Just wakes up these catatonic people.
I've got some bull semen for you. And bottled Sean.
I could see InfoWars selling bottled Sean, yeah.
It's like, did you ever see...
Hey, it's me, Alex Jones. I got something really exciting for you patriots today. We're gonna be providing you some access to pure, unadulterated bottled Sean. It's a real sweat from Sean Connery, the most masculine man who's ever lived.
We got Sean Connery sweat. And we're gonna sell it to you right now for a deal. It's $15. $15 for a 6-pack of bottled Sean.
Yeah.
We got to keep the lights on here to keep bringing you, the American people, the truth.
If you want to hear the truth, you can support the show by buying 2 flats of bottled Sean. You can sell one of those flats to your friends and fellow patriots.
Did you ever watch Power Thirst? One of the early internet themes?
Power Thirst! Sean Connery! It's like Sean Connery in a can!
Power Thirst now comes in women with preposterous amounts of testosterone. Preposterone!
That should have been the end of internet memes. We peaked at Power Thirst.
New flavors like Manana, Fizz Bitch, and Gun.
I love Power Thirst. Wow, that really takes me back.
Sean Connery in a can. It's like bitch slapping a woman 5,000 times. It's levels of misogyny you haven't seen before. Ultrasogyny.
Maximum misogyny. Maxogyny.
We got to get to the end of this movie. We really have to.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking.
We get Sean Connery in a bride costume at some point.
Right. So like basically the apathetics all wake up. They wake up from his sweat.
They all start having an orgy.
They start having an orgy. This is where, the renegades, the old people, Eternals, all break loose. There's that guy in a huge paper mache head and a diaper running around. There's the guy who's dressed like Dracula.
Oh,
renegades.
There's a line about them like killing someone that they thought was Zed but wasn't Zed.
Yeah,
and that
so like a
them
murder has happened and there's like bloodlust for the first time in Eternal Society.
And that causes them to have an orgy. And that's one of those things. It's like, okay, that's almost something, but you said it in 2 seconds and you moved on.
Right. And so like, there's all this like fucking going on. I like when the apathetics are all like railing each other and then just like really calmly delivering exposition at the same time. Like there's like this lady who's like getting eaten out and she's like, yeah, so we killed a guy who we thought was Zed, but he wasn't Zed. And just like in the most like crystal clear, like right into a microphone tone of voice. Yeah. They dress up Sean Connery in a wedding gown and bring him to friend.
Yeah.
And basically like the whole deal is like the renegades are like, oh, like you'll probably be able to destroy the tabernacle because you're like the chosen one or whatever. And the tabernacle is the thing that makes them all reincarnate when they die, right? So if you can destroy the tabernacle, we can all just die for good, which is what all the renegades want because they've been like banished to a life of just being old forever.
Right.
So they're like fully on Zed's side at this point, where they're like, let's get him into the tabernacle. We'll figure out how to fucking take this shit all down.
There's a scene here where May agrees to share their knowledge with Zed in exchange for his seed.
Right. She says, I believe verbatim, I have many followers. Inseminate us all.
Yes.
So she's basically like, hey, me and the homegirls all want you to get us pregnant, and in exchange we will give you all of human knowledge in the entirety of history.
And this is one of the scenes that takes place in the indeterminate black void.
Yes.
Where we just see there's like multiple characters, multiple women reciting literature and text knowledge with like images projected on them.
Yeah, some of them
and
are
Sean
like singing
Connery
opera and shit.
Yeah, some of them are talking about like math equations and stuff like that. And Sean Connery's just like occasionally like, oh, I'm just like floating here in the void watching all this shit happen.
Oh, I'm drinking the water of life and becoming the Quisas Haderach.
The Scottish Quisas Haderach.
Quisas Haderach.
Eating the haggis of life.
And this is one of those moments of the movie that's like pretty effective.
It's pretty cool stuff.
Like it conveyed okay, so she says a couple lines of weird dialogue.
Yeah.
But then visually it demonstrates what's happening pretty well.
Also, all of these ladies are spouting all of this philosophy and history and mathematics and music theory at him while art and stuff is being projected on them, and they all have their cans out.
A lot of boobs in this movie.
Yes.
A lot of small boobs in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of small boobs.
You don't get a
movie.
You don't get a boob heavy movie that has a lot of small boobs.
Yeah, this is pretty unique in that regard.
Yeah.
Not a lot of big naturals in Zardoz.
Shout out to the A cups and the B cups out there.
We love them. We love them.
Yeah.
But
in the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I love big boobies. I love small boobies. I love big asses. I love small asses.
That's right.
The
man of the people.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. I like this. Sorry to derail us to talk about the cans. The little cans.
No, I yes and
tuna
fine.
cans.
You don't need to apologize if I yes and. It's just if I know but, then you need to apologize.
Speaking of no butt, not a lot of butt in this movie.
No.
A lot of boobs in this movie. No butt.
Nope, no pussies either, and I could have used a couple primo 70s bushes.
I think when at the very beginning when he wakes up in Zardoz's mouth and there's all those people plastic wrapped, I do think there's a couple wieners in there. I think
probably.
Well,
I mean, there's plenty of butts with the various dead people making up part of the scenery. But
yeah, that's true. That's
in terms of characters
there are
on
those
screen,
butts.
like
you're right. You're right.
Apparently, the nudity caused a bit of a stir in Ireland.
Yes, where they were filming this in like rural Ireland, they were like, "You can't have Sean Connery running around in that little speedo.
We can't have his willy out, you know."
Charlotte Rampling's titties are already in Playboy. Why do they have to be in County Cork? Apparently the locals were not thrilled with all the outdoor nudity that was going on. Yeah.
I'd be planting down a camping chair and cracking open a beer myself.
David's there with binoculars. Like a DSLR with like a huge telephoto lens.
Is it cool if I just hang out? I'm just here for the show. I'm just here to hang out. Is it cool? You guys can film and everything. I'm just like,
yeah. I'm just here. Like
I'm just an interested local.
Just pretend like I'm not even here. This is actually my job. My job is to sit on this lawn chair. This is what I do, whether there's a movie shooting or not. So he gets all the knowledge of all of human history and becomes Lisan al-Gaib. He gets powers. And they also
what those powers are is not really clear.
no, they also give him a diamond at some point.
The crystal is somehow connected to all the Eternals and connected to
the tabernacle. Yeah, they're basically like, hey, take this diamond. Once you can see into it, you'll know what to do or some shit, right?
Yeah.
So he like gets the diamond. He gets the fucking all of the knowledge of every human who's ever lived on the planet, and escapes. And then he goes to see Zardoz, right?
Yeah, Zardoz shows up again.
Yeah.
He's walking through friend's like office is basically like an art gallery with statues.
It was
and,
a bunch of statues of a bunch of like Greek and Roman gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because this movie is obsessed with the idea of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And paintings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's one room where there's a bunch of mannequins dressed up like military figures and people throughout time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one of them is very clearly just a guy in a mask, and he moves, and it's Zardoz, and he rips the mask off and says like, "Hey, it's me, Zardoz," and then he stabs him with a fake knife and runs away.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Funny bit. Zardoz loves his little bits.
Yes, Zardoz is an Arthur Fring funny little guy.
Flaw with this movie?
Yeah.
Not enough Zardoz.
I agree.
It's
Could've
sort
used
of
more
like
Zardoz.
my brother has actually seen this movie. He actually watched it earlier this year because there was a fake meme going around that said that this movie took place on January 1st, 2025. So it was like, today's the only day you can watch Zardoz, and my brother fell for it and watched Zardoz. I think I sent it to him, and I didn't know that it was fake.
Yeah.
So he watched it already, and I was talking with him about it a little bit, and I was like, this movie's sort of like Tron, because the movie's called Tron, and there's a guy called Tron, but the guy called Tron isn't really that important.
Right.
Which I guess is also true of like The Wizard of Oz, which this is influenced by.
Right.
Yeah.
But Zardoz ends up being,
but Zardoz has fun vibes.
Right.
He seems like a cool guy.
He's a funny little guy. Yeah. And ultimately, like, he is sort of important because we learn that he basically orchestrated Zed's, like, the selective breeding that led to Zed. And his and Friend's plan the entire time was to bring down Eternal Society.
Friend is his accomplice.
Yes.
And like,
it's so funny that his name is just Friend, by the way. We haven't really acknowledged it, but it's hilarious that guy's just called Friend.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he meets Zardoz here, and Zardoz is basically like, yeah, you found me. Everything has been horseshit orchestrated by me so far. You gonna fucking kill the tabernacle and set us all free or whatever? So he like kind of re-enters. And then also around here, like, Zardoz is contemplating the crystal or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at the crystal ball that Zardoz gives him, because Zardoz is making like this crystal ball levitate. And he's like looking at the crystal ball. He's looking at the little diamond thing that he got from the Renegades or whatever. And he's like, yes, something about refracting light. It refracts infinitely inside a crystal or some shit.
And it has like infinite storage, like a powerful USB.
I'm saying these lines, John Boorman, because you wrote them for me in the movie that you're directing, but I don't know what the fuck any of this means.
This makes more sense to me than Gandalf, apparently, though.
And Consuela shows up, and she's going to kill him, but then is like... She's overpowered by his radiant masculinity or some shit, and then they quote Nietzsche about like, don't do battle with monsters lest you become a monster, and she realizes that she's become the very thing she sought to destroy, and it just kind of walks away.
And instead she's like, so put a baby in me later, bye.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
She like shows up. She's like, my mission for the whole movie has been to kill you. But actually, instead of that, how about we fuck later, though? Because I know you have some important tabernacle shit to do. And so, then he's like he's looking at the crystal, and he talks
to the tabernacle through the ring.
Yeah.
And there's more like tabernacle's God. He's going to kill God.
Right. So the tabernacle is basically an AI that all of these humans who discovered immortality built.
Yeah.
To control the society that was going to be made up of all these people who would be living forever. So basically, like, the whole thing was like, they made the AI that controls the society, and then they all like wiped their memories of how it was made so that none of them could ever undo it. And so secretly,
because the renegades were scientists from the old world who founded the society,
yes,
and the Eternals, like the main Eternals, are the children of them.
right. Yeah, and it's all very convoluted and insane. I sort of wish, because all of this stuff with the tabernacle.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
I think we're doing a really good job explaining this movie.
I agree.
I think we're doing an admirable job
If you're
of
confused,
explaining this fucking movie.
if you're confused, that is not our fault.
It's because you haven't watched Zardoz, bitch. I told you to watch it.
You gotta fucking get your Zardoz on.
Get your Zardoz reps in, and then come back.
So then, I don't know. He fucking like goes into the fucking tabernacle zone. It's a big hall of mirrors.
Yeah.
The tabernacle's talking to him about how it's an AI god and shit.
He shoots.
And all that stuff is interesting to me, and I just wish it was in more of the movie.
Yeah.
You know, like as soon as the tabernacle starts talking about how like it is an AI that was created by man, but it has become a god. And it's like, oh, like you've been searching for God and now you've actually found me, right? Like all that shit's really interesting. And it kind of comes to nothing because the seeds aren't planted until like 2 minutes before all this shit starts happening, you know?
Yeah.
I wish there was more of this AI god shit planted throughout.
Yeah,
you
me
know?
too. I think with all of the expository scenes in this movie and all of the different places that this movie goes, I wish it would just slow down.
Yeah.
For a moment and focus on something.
Right. But at the same time, also the pace is part of what keeps the thing watchable. So, you know,
yeah,
it's a double-edged sword.
It's maybe like, it's like 100 and, it's pretty solid, like 100 minutes.
Yeah.
Could probably stand to be a little bit shorter, but like,
it does move.
it's mostly pretty interesting throughout. Like,
Yeah.
and moves at a decent pace. Yeah.
Yeah.
He shoots his reflection as like an exterminator form with the mask and the bandolier on.
Yeah.
And then the mirror bleeds, which I think is kind of a cool.
It is cool.
Cool image.
I also like that the fucking tabernacle AI does a full-on Shakespeare "Oh, I am slain" after it gets shot, because he like shoots the tabernacle and it's like, "You have killed me. You are alone now," or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's like it gets shot and then it's
I'm
like,
dead,
"Oh,
but
I am
still
slain."
have to monologue.
Yeah. So then he kills the tabernacle, right? Which like basically destroys the source of like the immortality in the society, right? And he comes back, and after he gets back after killing the tabernacle, he is like fully like, now he's Neo after reading the Code of the Matrix.
Right.
And so like all of the fucking Eternals who were out to kill him because he's like causing their society to crumble are like right at the door or whatever. And he like reverses time to
like,
escape.
They're destroying the gallery and smashing statues and stuff, and it seems like he reverses time.
Yeah.
And there's a couple shots here where they do the reversed footage that it seems like what must be happening is Connery is running, like Connery and the Eternals that he's leading are actually moving backwards.
Yeah.
And then the Eternals that are attacking are moving forwards, but they reverse it.
Yeah.
And you kind of can't tell for the first few shots. And then once you see like the statues reforming and some of that the chaos where it's the attacking Eternals, it's clearly just reverse photography.
Right.
But initially the effect threw me for a second.
Yeah. This shit's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's poorly defined and never used again in the movie, but it's kind of cool that he can like reverse time. And then like he has like a temporal bubble. Like he tells everybody who's with him, which is like Zardoz and Friend and Charlotte Rampling, Consuela, and whoever else. He's like, "Stay in my aura." and then he's like he's moving forward through time while reversing time for like the rest of reality or whatever. It's pretty wild. And so yeah, then they escape and the mob doesn't get him. And then so then they like all meet up in the town square because like the tabernacle's been destroyed, right? And so immortality is no longer a thing. And the lady who did the topless exposition dump shows up.
Yeah, Before that, real
Before
quick.
that,
Before
yeah.
that, real quick, because again, there's a billion things in this fucking movie.
Yep.
He goes to see the old man of the Renegades.
Yeah,
and-
right. He
and-
sees like the founder of the Eternal Society, who's
And-
like old as shit.
And the old man says that like the vortex was an affront to nature and they should never have created it.
I like
and
all
then he
that
dies.
shit.
And that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
That I wish this movie explored a little bit.
Yeah.
Like what more can you say about human civilization and the desire to build civilization in the natural world, John Boorman? Like,
Yeah.
it seems like you have a take on it, but
Yeah.
explaining it in one sentence and then moving on just doesn't quite work for me.
And I do like I think a thing that does work for me in this movie is the exploration of the idea that it's like immortality is sort of inherently unnatural,
Yeah,
right? It
yeah.
shouldn't be. Like things are meant to die, right?
And
life is meant to be a cycle, right? And I feel like that is an idea that the movie kind of explores actually pretty well. That's like highlighted in that scene where like the old guy is like dying because he's basically like, yeah, like we fucked with the natural order. The natural order is that you're supposed to like live and then die. It's supposed to be finite, right? And then he croaks.
Yeah. And then the stone head shows up again for some reason and is flying through the sky and then falls out of the sky.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that later when Sean Connery and Charlotte Rampling have an entire romance for the last 2 minutes of the movie.
But yeah, so then they go to the town square.
Yeah.
And the lady who did the topless exposition dump is like, finally, Zed, you are here to fulfill your promise to me after I gave you that magic leaf. Please shoot me. And he like holds his gun up to shoot her and he's like, I can't do it anymore. I'm not the man I was. But then all the brutal exterminators show up because apparently the shield went down when the tabernacle died.
Yeah, I think that's what we're meant to believe.
And all of these guys wearing the exact same costume as Sean Connery, the little red diaper and the bullet bandoliers and the big boots
And the Zardoz mask.
and the Zardoz masks come in and kill fucking literally everyone in the entire movie except for Sean Connery and Charlotte Rampling. And it goes on for so long and it is so wild.
And there's so many shots of dead Eternals, like the close-ups of the dead Eternals' faces, and
Yeah.
the dead Renegades, and Zardoz gets shot because Zardoz is still here.
Yeah.
Friend gets shot.
Yep.
It is just
yeah.
like the brute. It goes on for a while.
Yes. And I love that, like, I actually really like this sequence. I don't know what it means. I don't really know what the movie's trying to say.
I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it.
Right. But I like this sequence. I like that, like, the whole time these brutals are, like, just, like, blowing these Eternals away. All the Eternals are being like, yes, kill me. I want this. Yes, hooray. But then at the same time, after people get shot, they're, like, screaming in pain and crying. So it's like this weird mix of like the joy of all these people who have been living for like living these eternal lives and are just like so done with existing, being like, finally, sweet release. But then they actually get hit by a bullet and they're like, oh fuck, that really hurts. It's bananas. I've never seen anything quite like it.
Yeah.
It's really something else. And then so many like shots of just like people laying dead. Like there's like tons of like just close-ups on like all of these dead people. Like it's just like death at the end. And then one of the brutals is like screaming for Zed. He's like, Zed, because they're like looking for their leader or whatever. And then he's like fucked off to the fallen stone Zardoz head.
Yeah, he's run away there with
Charlotte
Rampling.
Yeah.
And off screen they have sex and she is suddenly pregnant.
Yes. We've clearly jumped forward a little bit because they're both costumed totally differently.
I don't know. That seed seems pretty strong.
It's my Quichash Haderach sperms. They make a baby in 15 seconds flat.
Never doubt the Connery swimmers.
Yeah. So she has a baby. And then this movie closes in the most insane way possible. which is like,
I feel like it could have been more insane.
yeah,
At this point,
so.
I'm pretty numb to the insanity of this film.
That's true.
But it's time lapse of Sean Connery and Charlotte Rampling, and they're
Sitting, staring dead-eyed
Yeah.
into the camera.
yeah, and their
No
child
emotion.
growing older.
Yes.
And then at one point, the kid has become like an adult, gets up and walks away, and then they both grow old,
turn into
and turn into skeletons with hair.
Yes. First, they turn into like grandpa makeup from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, really gritty, gross old person makeup, and
Like
then
like Grandpa from Chainsaw 1 makeup.
Yes, and then they turn into skeletons, and then like it fades forward even from there, and then there's just nothing there at all, and then it like zooms into their handprints on like the cave wall inside the Zardoz head,
And their gun and Connery's gun is still
yes,
there.
the rusty
Yeah.
gun, and that's the end of Zardoz.
Justice.
Yeah.
The gun is good. The penis is evil, but is Zardoz the greatest movie ever made?
David, this movie is fucking wild, dude. This shit is so fucking insane. I was laughing. I was thinking both about the actual themes that this movie actually like tries to explore, and also just like thinking about its ineptitude in exploring those themes, its random genre switches, its like total vibe shifts. I was kind of delighted watching Zardoz. It's like really out there, and it's not great because it does leave so many interesting avenues unexplored. But like also like Charlotte Rampling delivers a PowerPoint presentation about Sean Connery's boner. And I don't know, like a bunch of old people at the end are clamoring for death, and a bunch of dudes in masks gun them down. I don't know. I liked it. Yeah, Zardoz is the greatest movie ever made.
Fuck off.
I don't know how to rate this one. Like, yes, it is.
That's a good point.
David, is Zardoz the greatest movie ever made?
Justice.
Yeah.
This movie is an unmitigated failure, and I also deeply and truly respect it.
Yes.
I respect that John Boorman made this movie for $1.5 million. 20th Century Fox allowed him to do it.
Yep.
And then it made $5.5 million
Yeah,
off of that budget.
It is wild that this wasn't like a total flop. Like it was like it sort of made back its budget.
Yeah. This movie is kind of defies any sort of logic or lens of criticism or critique that you could apply to it, where it's like, I sort of understand the 1.5 star reviews.
Yeah.
And I sort of understand the 5-star reviews.
That's right.
Because God, this thing is just every 2 minutes this movie is swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are whiffs. Yeah. And a lot of them I don't even think like probably make it into the outfield.
Yeah.
But it's really trying, and it's kind of admirable and adorable at how convinced this movie is of its own greatness and importance.
Yes.
And its own ambition. And I think it achieves that largely through its visual presentation.
I agree.
I think there's a lot of striking imagery in this movie. I think when the movie just allows the imagery to do the talking for the characters, it largely works pretty well.
Yeah.
But
a shot that I wanted to call out is the big like glass pyramid thing.
Yeah.
When May and Zed are walking up to it, and they're both mirrored in half of the pyramid as they're like approaching it. Really fucking cool shot. And like when Zed's standing on the beach when he first meets May, and he's got like the amazing Irish landscape in the background. Like lots of that shit is exactly what you're talking about, where it's like, oh, these images are just speaking.
Yeah, it seems like it's a movie made by a filmmaker that should not have been let anywhere near a typewriter.
Right.
But all this,
he should have directed this movie and not written it.
but at the same time, I'm sort of glad that he did.
Me too.
I don't know, man. It's a one of a kind experience. It's insane that Sean Connery is in this. It's insane that like a respected British actress like Charlotte Rampling is in this thing. This movie's insane, and it's insane in a good way. But I don't think I can give it the greatest movie ever made.
Damn.
Because it is just there is just so much of this movie, and not all of it works, and not all of it functions on a so bad it's good level.
Yeah.
Or even like a good, just like good movie level. Like it's, I don't know. It's a tough one, and you have to experience it. And I've sort of been, it did stun me and shock me this morning, watching it.
Yeah.
And if for some reason you haven't seen it,
watch Zardoz.
I think you have to.
I think I gave it a yes and you gave it a no because I think watching this movie flop and whiff delighted me more than it delighted you. I think the areas in which this movie just catastrophically fails, I was like, oh, I'm absolutely loving this.
I don't think it's quite like Tommy Wiseau's The Room. I don't think it's
Okay.
quite there.
Yeah. I feel like, and see, I think the difference is I feel like I would sooner watch Zardoz again than The Room again, you know?
Maybe I've seen The Room a lot.
Yeah.
I've probably seen The Room too many times, and
Yeah.
Zardoz is still like fresh.
Yeah.
But I also don't know that if I went back to Zardoz, if I would get that much more out of it. I don't know.
I feel like
there,
I would.
mean, there's I don't know. No, it's a tough movie to talk about. Tough
It-
movie to quantify your experience with. Because there are times where it just feels like, oh, this is. To some people, I can see this movie being borderline unwatchable.
Right.
And it's not to me, but
No.
it really gets close at a few points there.
Yeah.
So that's Zardoz.
Zardoz is good. The
We didn't-
podcast is evil.
We didn't even talk about how. Did we even talk about how Burt Reynolds was supposed to play Zed?
Oh, I talked about that with
you
Sean
talked
Connery
about that with
possessing your
Sean.
body from hell. Yeah.
That movie
Yeah.
would have been something else.
It would have been different than the movie that we got.
Hey, what's with this floating head here?
I think. Hey, Charlotte Rampling, you want me to put a baby in you?
Zed, that's not my name. Tud Ferguson. Sorry, now I'm just doing Celebrity Jeopardy bits.
Yeah.
It's sort of like my Sean Connery voice.
We could do Celebrity Jeopardy bits with Sean Connery. He's famously part of the Celebrity Jeopardy Saturday Night Live sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One could even say that's
What we're
We're-
doing when we do the impression of his voice?
yeah, or when his voice possesses me, I would only assume it sounds sort of like that. But that's
A joke
maybe
that
that's just what he sounds like.
a joke that I meant to make in the Marnie episode, and then the tone of the episode felt like it would be inappropriate, is also a joke that happens on SNL with the Sean Connery Celebrity Jeopardy, which is, Sean Connery's character in Marnie really puts the rapist in therapist because he's trying to therapize her at the end of the movie.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. I think it was probably good that you saved it for this one.
The podcast is evil.
Hey, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Spread the word to your friends about the show. Maybe not this episode.
Definitely this episode.
Tell them to watch Zardoz, and then listen to this episode. Have a Zardoz party.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you could make a paper mache floating head popcorn bucket.
Make it a pinata.
Make some green
a
bread.
Zardoz pinata. That'd be a lot of fun. Make green
Everyone can wear their red thongs.
bread. Everybody can not wear a bra.
You
Nobody's
could-
wearing a bra. in
You
this
can all
movie.
do that, like shun the non-believer ooga booga thing.
Yeah,
as a
you
party
can meditate
game.
with your friends on level 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick a leaf in your mouth. Punch through some Glad wrap.
Leave us a review. Leave us a comment. We are approaching episode 100.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a Q&A as part of episode 100.
Yeah.
So think about questions that you might want to ask us.
Yeah.
If you've been listening for a while, we'll give you some more information on how to submit those. I guess you can probably just send it to our email.
Yeah.
Which is
thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you. And follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and yeah.
Yeah,
We
you can
appreciate
DM
you
us
guys.
questions as well for the Q&A.
Sure.
I'm sure that ET will see them there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
collect them.
Thanks to ET for our research and social media
Yes.
management.
That's right.
Next, I was going to ask you, but
It's your theme month.
It's-
Well, it's Sean's theme
it's
month.
Sean's theme month.
But he possessed your body, so why don't you go ahead and...
As communicated to me by the ghost of Sean Connery, next week we are going to be watching Never Say Never Again,
Yes.
which is an unofficial Bond movie
Yes.
that was not made by Eon Productions, that is a remake of the Sean Connery Bond film Thunderball.
Mhm.
But the only difference is this one was made when Sean Connery was old, and he did it for money.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about the copyright dispute that led to the movie. I've never seen it. It's one of, I mean, I've seen every Bond movie, but I haven't seen the unofficial ones. And
Yeah.
this is one of the unofficial ones.
I have not seen this movie either.
We're going to watch it next week, directed by Irvin Kershner,
Yeah.
famously known as the director of Empire Strikes Back. So join us next week for that. In the meantime, we love you all so much. Thanks for listening. And as always,
Later, dipshits.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Greatest Movie Ever Made. Please remember to leave us a rating and a review, and to subscribe to the show wherever you listen. We appreciate you supporting the show and spreading the word. Tell your friends to listen, tell your enemies to listen, tell your mom to listen. If your neighbor has an unsecured Bluetooth speaker, connect to it and play an episode. You can follow us on social media at TGMEM_podcast. And if you've got a movie that you want us to talk about, send us an email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com. Okay, that's all for now. We hope you beautiful people all come back next week for another episode.